So the session is being recorded. I do encourage you to take notes because our speaker is going to be covering a lot of different topics, a lot of different websites. So I encourage you, there is no PowerPoint related to this, so you're not going to be getting a PowerPoint. Allie, you can take over the screen now if you'd
Okay,
like.
sure. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining. Appreciate you coming on here.
Allie, I'm still not quite done. I'm sorry. I still need to do an introduction. A couple of other footnotes. So there is no PowerPoint to share. Let me tell you a little bit about our speaker. So is it letting you take over the screen?
Let's see.
Today's speaker is Allie Johnston. She's the founder of the company Bell Tech Services. She brings 2 decades of IT experience to her role as president of Bell Tech Services. Her business provides comprehensive IT consulting services with an emphasis on cybersecurity to small and medium-sized businesses countrywide. In recent times, Allie has been deeply involved with artificial intelligence, also known as AI, keeping up to date with technological developments and actively participating in groundbreaking AI ventures. By collaborating with several AI startups, she's been able to gain hands-on experience in the real-world challenges and opportunities that AI presents. With that, the floor is yours, Allie.
Hello, everyone. Thanks again for joining. Today we are going to dive in and learn all about AI. I have some tools that I use in my business, and so I'm going to share those with you. This is not a comprehensive list of all that's out there, but it's definitely a basic overview of what you can do and how you can save time running your business with AI. I'm not sure if everybody's heard about it, but ChatGPT really exploded the internet with its artificial intelligence, and people are using it now. There's a free version, so you could even go log on right now and get on it. It's free. It's a large language model that has been trained on tons of information from across the internet. If you've seen the news stories, ChatGPT can pass the bar. It can pass the medical exams. You think of it as a large language model or this AI as a human brain, and for your whole life, you've had a whole set of experiences. You've read books, you've looked at art, you've got all this information in your brain. Think of AI as a human brain multiplied exponentially. The amount of information it holds is, we can't even comprehend it. And why is this making our lives easier? How is this saving our businesses times? Well, for right now, AI really is in its infancy, and what we're seeing most use cases right now at a low level are chatbots. You go to a website and you've got a chatbot that is clearly a bot, but you can speak with it and kind of have a conversation. That, of course, is improving as time goes on. But now we've got all of these tools that are just really going to take us to the next level. All of us in this industry, we think of AI really just like when the boom of the internet. When the internet came out, everybody was a little hesitant, not sure what it was, and wasn't sure how it was going to help us and was it going to hurt us. And we're in that same phase with AI right now. We're all just, standing back, watching, saying, oh, okay, this is kind of cool. Is AI going to take my job? Is AI going to take over the world? These are some of the questions that come up. I think what you're going to see today is going to show you that I don't think AI is going to take our jobs, but it's certainly going to help us do more with the time that we've got. And that's what I'm doing with it. I'm using it a lot for marketing, helping me come up with marketing ideas, creating posts on the internet. You could even use it to write a blog article, whatever makes sense in your business. And what it does is it gives you a jump start. I'm not saying that everything that gets spit out of ChatGPT and all these tools is perfect, but it certainly gives you a starting point. And what's the hardest part of any project? It's getting started. And so when I'm staring at that blank slide deck, or I'm staring at that blank page because I just don't know what to write about in my blog this week, I come to ChatGPT or any one of these other tools that I use and try to get some ideas, and it gives me that jumping off point. So for me, that's where that's where it's really helping me excel. So without further ado, I say let's get into the tools and see what they have, see what they look like. Our first one that I wanted to explore was ChatGPT, because that has just gone off the charts with the amount of users, the amount of data it's getting fed, and I think probably we've all heard of it. So I'm going to go ahead and get into ChatGPT. Again, there's a free tool and there's a paid for tool. The paid for tool, in my opinion, is very, very well worth it. Right now, I'm just using the free tool as part of our demonstration, and let's get into it. So I've already logged in here to ChatGPT, and let's go ahead and see. It's actually saved all my chats here on the left-hand side, and I'm going to make my screen a little bit bigger. Hopefully that helps things a little bit. Okay, so you can see all of the chats that I've had. It saved everything for me, which is a nice feature. Let's see, how does it help me? So I'm in the technical space. I have to every day explain very technical, complex matters to people who aren't technical. So I often use this to come in here and say, hey, explain this very complicated technical situation to an 8th grader, and it will spit that out. So today, I'll just show you one of my examples that I used before. I said, explain DMARC to an 8th grader. Forget about what DMARC is. It's a complicated thing with email and the internet, but it's a really important setting to have within your environment. And I have to explain that to my customers, why I have to set up DMARC for them. So it spits out this wonderfully easy way to explain what DMARC is, why do we need it. This actually helps me every day when I'm talking to my clients. Let's see something else that we talked about. So this is another thing we used to
I haven't tried one time.
Are you waiting on food?
I'm waiting for a Wi-Fi.
Okay, those should be out.
Okay.
I don't know where that came from, but let's continue.
Yeah, please
Okay.
keep your phones muted, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so let's start a new chat with ChatGPT. And if anybody wants to put something in the comments, something you want me to ask that's relative to your business, absolutely, please don't be shy, go get in the chat. But let's go ahead and see. So I started talking about a blog post. I need to write articles, whether it's for LinkedIn or my website. So let me, and today I'm stuck. I don't know where to start. Let's come up with a good idea. So you talk to ChatGPT just like you would talk to a person. So create me a blog article about the importance of cybersecurity in my small business. Let's see. Damn, is that quick or what? I mean, it's giving me bullet points and everything. I just love it. Now, is this a perfect article? Is it factually correct? This is something, that's why we always have to have a human in the loop with this. I need to look at this and read it and say, yeah, is it a good start? It's an absolute great start. And I actually was just on the phone with an attorney today talking about data privacy and copyright when it comes to AI, and it's a very hot topic, especially the copyright. They're legislators are duking it out now. We don't have any we don't have any answers about the copyright, but for now, um, this AI took my question. It looked in its brain that's, exponentially larger than ours, filled with data, and this is what it came up with in about, what, 20 seconds? Incredible. And you can take this philosophy to whatever, whatever pertains to your business. And yes, somebody just tried asking ChatGPT a question and a ton of information came up. It's incredible. And how fast it is. Now, let's step back though about we talk about, is this factually correct? I obviously need to read it. I would know if it's factually correct or not, but I will tell you a story. It was a Florida man. If you're from Florida, you know that that's kind of funny. The attorney used ChatGPT or some AI product to cite cases to come up with his, what he was going to say in court. And the cases that the Chat GPT cited, I mean, it all looked good. And he went to the judge and he presented his information. And the judge is like, where are these cases from? I've never heard of these cases. Guess what? Those cases did not exist. Obviously, that lawyer got, reprimanded. But that's where we're at with this, and you absolutely need to check if it's factually correct or not. Always needs, at this point in time, there needs to be a human in the loop when it comes to whatever's getting outputted from these models. And okay, so let's come up with another question that might be helpful for someone's business. We're all small business owners, right? Maybe you're having a hard time coming up with an idea for your next post on Facebook or whatever social media you use. So that's where you're going to come in and really you need to tell ChatGPT, you need to tell the AI who you are. Otherwise, it needs context, just like a human needs context. The Chat GPT needs context. And one of my great examples about AI technology at this point is it is a computer, it is a machine, it's not a human, so it's not making any assumptions. But when you read the instructions on the back of a box of cake, and it says you need 3 eggs. Well, if you just told an AI that they needed to put 3 eggs into the mixture and beat those eggs, they're not going to crack the eggs and get the yolk out. They're just going to put the eggs into the bowl and then mix everything up. So that's where the difference is with, talking to an AI versus talking to a human. There's assumptions that aren't going to be made. So you need to be very, very clear with what you ask. And if you don't ask in the right way and you don't get the right answer, you just need to come up with a different way to ask the questions. And so let's try a couple of examples with that, and I'll be vague at first, and then we'll dial it in so you can see the difference in the answers. Okay, so right now, ChatGPT doesn't know much about me except that I asked it to create a blog article about the importance of cybersecurity. Okay, so how about, let's say I am a travel designer and I need to come up with a post for my Facebook about a really, I don't know, I need it to come up with an idea for me. So I'm just going to say, create a Facebook post that promoting, what should we promote? Oh, an island vacation. How's that? Doesn't that sound nice? Let's see what it comes up with. Not bad, huh? I think one of my favorite part is that it actually does the emojis for you. I mean, this is fantastic, and it even gave us a hashtag. Okay. So this was pretty good. Now, if we have if we have any other, please put them in the chat if you've got anything you want me to try. Happy to try it. Okay, so let's say this is cool. I like it, but it's a little long, isn't it? So let's go ahead and say that is good, but please shorten it. I know I'm always so polite with my AI. Okay, I like that a lot better. Short, sweet, to the point, right? And then, of course, you could take them both and kind of mold them together, but I think that that gives you an idea of, how this works and how easy it is to come up with things. Someone's asking me the significance of a hashtag. So I find that hashtags are very useful on LinkedIn and Twitter, or now called X. But the hashtag is gonna show up. I use hashtags in my posts a lot, so I show up for that hashtag. So let's say I have 100 followers on LinkedIn and I post something, my 100 followers are going to see it. But if I put in hashtag cybersecurity, LinkedIn's also going to push that post out to anybody who's following that hashtag of cybersecurity. So I get a better reach to my audience. Okay, so someone said, what are the benefits of propane? Let's ask. And then let me ask, KM, is there anything you want me to compare it to? Okay, let's see what it does. Okay, great. I mean, this is awesome. Uh, and I'm using this. Even I encourage my daughter, she's 17. I encourage her to use this. It's a starting off point. It's a work smarter, not harder kind of a tool. And why not use this to start off? I don't know if you're going to write a blog article about propane. Here you go. Here's the top 10. We could even, drill down and say, can you condense that to the top 5? Maybe, 210 is too many for our list. Please condense that to the top 5 points. Okay, let's see if it stops at 5. Perfect. Okay, great. Let's see. Why should we all network? Yeah, please save the results. I know, right? Oh, compare it to electricity. Okay, that's actually okay. Now compare those points to electricity. And I don't know if this is going to be specific enough for it, so let's see what we get with that. Okay, so you might, so see how you might have to like fuss with the prompt a little bit. You'll see on the internet, there's tons of people who put out these, cheat sheets on how to converse with ChatGPT, more efficiently. But and those are great. I love those. There's also tools out there that already do all that stuff for you. So I think that as we're in the AI infancy, ChatGPT really was just a test, to see how it would work. And obviously it's working very well. The the ChatGPT, you really need to pull the information out of it, is how I like to put it. Okay, this is a great question. What's the difference between just Googling something and inputting it into ChatGPT? And that's actually a good segue into the next tool I wanted to show you, which is Bing Chat. Bing. Bing is a search engine from Microsoft. So, we've got Google. Google is Google, and then Microsoft has their own version of a search engine, and it's called Bing, Bing. And I'm going to tell you what the difference is. I am not Googling too many things anymore. I am using AI for almost all of my searches because I get the answer like that. So if you think about a Google search, I'm going to search and I'm going to get pages and pages of results. I'm probably only going to look at the first page or two, but I still have about 10 articles to look through. Okay, I read those, I skim through them, I put the information in, and then I formulate my answer. With AI, I ask the question and it goes out on the internet. It does all that searching for me and it gives me the answer right there. And I'm going to demonstrate that here in a moment. We can certainly come back to ChatGPT. There's a lot of interesting things to look at in here, and we can play with it and we can ask it, a lot of questions. I'm going to move on to the Bing chat because that question came up and I think it's really important to answer. So if I go to bing.com/chat, okay, great. The interface is very similar to what ChatGPT has. You see down here on the bottom of my screen, I'm going to make this a little bigger. And you could see down on my screen, you can ask me anything. Okay, I'm going to ask it anything. Okay, this is not business related, but we all eat, right? So let's see. It's thinking. It's searching for chicken recipes. Let's see what it gives us. I like how human-ish it is when it comes back with its answers. Oh my God, that sounds so good. Melt in your mouth chicken breast. Okay. And so rather than sifting through all these pages, it already gave me the link right here. That sounds so, it gives me a synopsis of what it is. And to me, this first one sounds delicious. So I'm going to click on it. Okay, perfect. There it is. Done. And it takes me right to, oh, I see what it did. It just took me to the page. Okay, so you can find chicken recipes. Okay, so the bottom line is what Bing Chat is doing. It's an open AI. It's based on the open AI, the same thing that ChatGPT is using, but it's actually getting to use the internet to come up with these answers for you. So again, I'm not using Google very often because this Bing Chat is so good. I had a technical problem the other day with a graphing calculator, and I just typed the problem into Bing Chat, and it gives me the answer right back. Let's see, wouldn't Googling something and knowing the source of the information be more accurate than Bing AI? I agree with you. You still have to check everything. At least with Bing Chat, we actually get the sources cited for us. So I think in that respect, you can still go back and double check and check that it's correct 100%. So like this is taking us to, let's see. Okay, so it's taking us to Cafe Delights. So it takes us right to the website. Okay, here's the quick and creamy herb chicken recipe that I wanted. So in that respect, yeah, it's just taking you right to the website where the information came from. And then as a human, we can decide whether or not this is good information or bad information. So getting it to cite where the fact that it cites its articles is extremely helpful. ChatGPT is more, I'm just reading the comments here. So basically ChatGPT is just a more accurate and in-depth version of Googling something. On the surface, yes. But what's happening behind the scenes as these models are getting better and better and learning more, and people are using the technology for other purposes. This is a very basic purpose, write me a LinkedIn post, give me a recipe, make me a chat, put a chat bot on my website. The power comes in when you start putting your data in here. We can actually now upload information. So let's say you've got an HR document and it's full of, your policies, your company policy, your company handbook. You can upload that company handbook to artificial intelligence, whether it's ChatGPT or whatever tool you use. It learns that document, and then it can easily give your employees answers about that document rather than calling up and talking to HR or emailing them. You've got all the information right there in your chatbot. That's all it does. It knows about your company handbook, and that's all it knows about. And it does it well. So there's powerful tools in that respect. We're also seeing AI being used in the medical field. The advances that are happening are pretty incredible, and I'll actually be posting something on my LinkedIn soon about that. I've been meaning to talk about how AI is advancing the medical field incredibly and exponentially as well. Oh, okay, so Bill said ask ChatGPT to differentiate itself from Google. Okay, I hope it's going to be funny. Okay, let's see. I'm a ChatGPT. Okay. I mean, the answers are great, I'm not saying I'm going to write a thesis using ChatGPT, but gives me some good starting points for sure. Okay, so let's see. So Bing Chat. So that's how I'm using Bing Chat on a daily basis. I'm really not going to Google for too much. It cites the sources. I can choose to go to these websites or not. And that's what I love about it. I've even actually heard people, Google does have their own AI. It's called Bard. And in my opinion, after using both of them, my opinion is that Bing Chat is far superior to Google's version. But go ahead and try out Google's version and see what you think. Everybody's got something works better for some people than others, but this one right here, I'm pretty impressed with the way it works. So on to talking about a little bit more about the tools. There's other tools out there. There's thousands of AIs out there now. People have taken what ChatGPT has, that brain, basically. They've taken that brain and they're using that same brain, that same ChatGPT brain, but they're layering it on top of their own application. If anybody has any questions about that, please just let me know. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, I can certainly explain that in a little bit more depth or in a different way, or we can ask ChatGPT to give us a synopsis. So with these other tools, I talked about ChatGPT. You have to come up with the proper prompt. You have to ask it the right way, things like that. And that's fine. That's good. But there's other tools out there that have already layered on the question, the prompting. So with something like this, and this is my favorite tool that I use. It's called GPT Boss, and it is basically a whole slew of artificial intelligent employees. So you can see here we've got CEOs, we've got classic experts like lead generation, sales coaches. I'm in here every day either talking to my copywriter, my copywriter, or the sales experts, and I talk to the marketing experts a lot. So look at even event marketing experts. So this person is basically tuned to be an event marketing expert. Now, Natalia here that I have on my screen, she's not a real person. That is not a real person. That's an AI generated image, but it gives you that human feel. So Natalia, the event marketing expert, I might ask her, well, how can I get more people to come to my events? And again, it works the exact same way as ChatGPT, because I mean, essentially the brain behind this is ChatGPT. It's the same thing. She's taking a little bit longer to write. But look at these wonderful, numbered points that she's giving me about what to do. Yeah, so we can use this. Anybody else have a question they want to ask, or even, say, okay, why don't you ask the copywriter to do this? This took a long time. But okay, you get the point. I have an event marketing expert. She's going to help me with how, what to do. Partner with influencers, email marketing, SEO. Yeah, okay, this is pretty basic stuff, but let's say, how about anything else? Let's see if she has any other ideas. I mean, she is the expert, right? LinkedIn, podcasts. Okay, great. So you can keep talking, and just like ChatGPT, you literally have a conversation with these people. I'm going to go back over here to my main page. And then, so all the experts work exactly the same way. They're already tuned. You don't have to prompt them for anything. The only thing you might want to tell them is, what your business is. So say you want to talk to Royce here about social media. So you could say something like, I own a cyber security consulting firm. What's the best way to market on social media? Oh, let me hit submit. Oh, it already did it. Okay. And now he's giving me all kinds of ideas. So there's tons of employees in here. In the beginning he had I thought it was kind of funny. He had an attorney on here, but there's too much legal ramifications with that, so they had to take the attorney off. But I mean, we've got financial experts, operations experts, human resources. I come to these people. I've been to see them and ask them several things. I think that employee retention is a big topic today, and employee recruitment. So you've got a whole expert right there. Let's see, technology experts. So these would be, and I've actually used some of these technology experts because you can ask them to create you the code to create a PowerPoint, which is absolutely incredible. So that's like a little bit more of an advanced feature, but there's a lot more than you can do to then just ask it, to write you a blog or do a social media post. You can have it write complex code, and it can create, PowerPoints or Excel spreadsheets. There's actually a really good example. I am not an Excel wizard. I'm very technical, but I'm just not good at it. And I had to create a pretty complicated spreadsheet. So I just said in real, my language, plain English, create me a spreadsheet with these columns, and with these calculations, and it did it. It took me a few iterations for it to get it, perfect, but you just keep asking a question, just like when you go down the hall and knock on someone's door and say, hey, can you do this for me? And then they come back and you're like, it's okay. Can you make it better? Can you do this? And, then they go back and on and on. Let's see. So design experts. Okay. So this app to me makes Chat GPT it's just an easier way to access that data, to leverage the artificial intelligence. Another couple things that we have in here. So what GPT Boss has created is what he calls tools. So he's got, this is a code writer. This will do code programming for you. Product idea generator, content spinner. I love the content spinner. You've got some content, you write something up really quick. Again, what's the hardest part? Getting started. Okay, I have a one sentence, a couple of sentences, spin this, make it better for a blog post or an online content, whatever the case may be. We talked about content spinning for, you know, an 8th grader. For me, 5th grade and 3rd grade is just a little too basic. So I actually will go into one of the experts and say, write this, you know, explain this to an 8th grader. And then it kind of makes the content a little bit more digestible for people who, in my case, aren't as technical. Okay, so he's got all kinds of different tools in here. Just love this sales funnel writer. You know, there's just so many tools in here to help you with with your with your business. Let's see. I'm going to go back to our experts, and let's see if we can get Royce, our social media expert, to come up with a social media campaign, you know, in a bulleted format, a social media campaign for, let's see, how about create a 7-day. So I'm going to ask Royce to create a 7-day social media plan for my put it in a table format. Let's see if we can get it to do that. Okay, I see what he's doing. So what Royce did here is he didn't really put it in a table format. It looks like he's using the pipe symbol. This is technical. He's using the pipe symbol to separate everything out. So I could potentially take this into Excel and change the columns so that everything separated by a pipe is in a different field. I'm sorry if that got too technical. But anyway, so he's come up with a whole plan for the next 7 days of what I need to, you know, do on my social media for the next 7 days, which I think is incredible. I don't like the format that it's in, so we could go back and, you know, play around with the format, and he actually will come back and ask you, you know, more questions. And he's actually has a really good point here. How can I tailor the social media plan to target a specific audience? Because we might not be casting that wide net. We might be going after a specific segment, right? So let me click on that, and then so it just puts it in there for me. And he's going to tell me how to do that. And then I could also add on, okay, I want to focus on the healthcare industry. And so I would say focus on the healthcare industry. And then he could tailor the social media plan to that. Okay, so I'm in this platform every day. This is the one that I use. Again, there's many other ones out there. You just need to find the one that works well for you. Just to give you an idea, these AI tools are not expensive. If you went to ChatGPT and wanted the latest and greatest version of ChatGPT, it's about $20 a month. That is well worth it, in my opinion. Oh, Royce has got a lot to say, so I'm just going to come over here. Okay, perfect. Let's see. So we talked about Bing Chat versus actually Googling. We talked about GPT Boss and how that leverages Chat GPT, that, you know, superhuman artificial intelligence brain. And I also wanted to touch on quickly Microsoft Copilot. Microsoft Copilot is really going to change the way we work. It's not widely available for everyone just yet. It's only available at the enterprise level. I'm going to show you a quick video of it just so you can have a preview of what's to come eventually. But in a nutshell, what Microsoft Copilot is going to do is it is an AI. It will work with all of your Office applications. So your Word, your Excel, your PowerPoint. There's not going to be any more writing Excel formulas. You are just going to tell your Copilot, I need you to look at this data and give me the sales figures over, you know, aggregated over the last 3 months. you're just going to talk to you're going to talk to your Copilot and have it create that spreadsheet. You are going to upload spreadsheets and images to your AI, and you're going to say, create me a PowerPoint based on this data. And it's going to do it within a matter of minutes. So no more sitting there and putting slide decks together or, configuring functions in an Excel document. It's all going to be done by your Copilot. And again, that's Microsoft. I'm going to see, Lonnie, I'm not sure if my audio is going to play through. Let's see. Can you guys hear the audio?
No.
Okay, that's okay. That's okay.
You
Hold
know
on.
what you could do though? You could put the link in the chat and then we could look at it later.
Yeah.
So folks could copy it.
Hold on one second. I just need to. Tell it that I want the audio to.
We aren't hearing anything. I don't know. You intended it that way.
So what we've got here is a Copilot creating a spreadsheet, a PowerPoint slide deck for you with your data. And I think that that's where the really important piece of this puzzle is it's your data. And that data, coming back to that privacy talk, is not shared with anyone else when you're talking about using the enterprise version of Microsoft's Copilot. And I'm going to get into that in a minute about your data, your privacy when it comes to all of these AI products. And it's important for you to ask, what's happening to my data after I entered into this AI? Right. So basically, we are just going to, this Copilot, again, you're going to talk to it in plain English and ask it what you needed to do, and it's going to do it for you. This is again, it's not widely available. I don't even have it yet. But they're slowly rolling it out, and they're starting, at the enterprise level. So the last thing I wanted to touch on was the privacy and security of this situation with AI. And no matter what service you use, what tool you use, this is a one time I'm going to tell you, you have to read the privacy policy and the terms of service. I know no one wants to read those long, tiny print things, but if you're putting any proprietary information into these tools, you're going to want to know what happens to that data. I know that there was a couple people, this was, months ago at ChatGPT, but some interns were entering information into ChatGPT to try to, get their whatever it was for marketing. And they put in proprietary data. And then guess what happens to that data? That data gets fed to the AI. So now the AI has that information in their brain, and it can be used elsewhere. So it's super important to understand how your data is being used. And that's what I love about Microsoft, is that they are being transparent and they are telling us, right out of the gate, we are not sharing this data with anybody else. Everything that you have is in your own little environment or platform. ChatGPT, on the other hand, is a little bit different. All this stuff that I've typed into ChatGPT is now part of the model. I just didn't change my settings, but I'm not putting anything in there that I'm, concerned about. If I was concerned about it, I wouldn't put it into ChatGPT to begin with. So that's where I come from with that standpoint. But once you are in ChatGPT, if you want to go ahead and take a look at your settings, so if you see where my mouse is down on the bottom left-hand corner of the page, I click on my name and then I've got some settings. And so let's look at the data controls. There's not very much here to do, but again, this is the free version. So that's why there's not too much, but let's see. So delete account, export data. So see what this says about my chat history and training. So that would be something, depending on what you're doing in here, you turn that on or off. But unsafe chats will be deleted from our systems within 30 days. Okay. So either you know, there's really not granular settings. You turn it on or you turn it off. If you're putting proprietary data in there or sensitive data in there, I would think twice about before even doing it. But if I did, I would absolutely 100% turn that off. And then so, you know, my chat history goes away. I like having the chat history. So there's always you know, that balancing act you need to do when it comes to data, privacy, security, risk. It's a balancing act. So for me, I like the chat history, so I'm going to keep it on. For you, depending on what you're putting in there, you know, different story. I wouldn't do anything that is anything that has to do with compliance. I would not do in ChatGPT. So, you know, personal information, names, anything. I just wouldn't put it into ChatGPT. It's a model being used around the world. Okay. And then when it comes to the tools the other tools that you use, I would say talk to the developer, you know, talk to their support, ask them for their terms of service. It's something that they have to have, you know, as running a business like this anyway. So they will have it, read it, and understand it. And if you don't understand it, you could upload it into ChatGPT and have ChatGPT summarize it for you. Okay. I want to leave the last couple of minutes here for any questions. And Lonnie, if they want to come off mute and ask the question live, you know, I'm totally okay with that. Or if you just want to put it in the chat.
Well, there aren't that many on the call, so whatever's easier.
Yeah, if you guys just, if anybody has a question they want me to answer live or something to demonstrate, go ahead and, you know, you can come off mute and ask. Or if you're not comfortable doing that, just put it in the chat.
Can you just quickly review what were the websites you went to? First was ChatGPT, and then you lost me after that.
Okay, so we first looked at ChatGPT, which is actually openai.com. We looked at another one called GPT Boss. And I'll have a summary. I have a little summary sheet with all of this information on it. I can send it to you, Lonnie, if you want to send it to the attendees. The other one is GPT Boss, if you can see that. And we can kind of put those in the chat too. And we looked at Bing Chat. So everybody's used to using Google. I know that. I would absolutely give Bing Chat a try and see what you think. See if it, you know, helps you get the answer quicker than Google. Okay. Yes, Lonnie, thanks. You've got your email address in there. Perfect. I put a couple of links for you guys. This is if you wanted to learn a little bit more about Copilot. If you're using Microsoft Office for you know, documents and PDFs, PowerPoints and Excel spreadsheets, you're going to want to keep your eyes and ears open about Copilot because it is really it's gonna change things up. Okay, well, we don't have any questions, so I guess we could wrap up here a few minutes early. And I really thank you, Lonnie, for having me, and thank you all for coming and watching.
Thank you for sharing all this great information. I appreciate it. This is all new to most of us. So thanks for sharing.
Okay, perfect. Great. Yes. So I will share that little PDF I have that gives you kind of like just an overview of the tools that I talked about.
Great. Thank you,
Okay.
Ellie.
My
Happy
pleasure.
Thanksgiving. everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.